Earlier this month, I streamed on Twitch for the very first time. Link in the description, by the way. I played a couple of cheap yet quality indie titles with spooky vibes. Because, you know, it's almost Halloween.
It's Halloween!
Almost Halloween, however. Almost Halloween. You're still too early, man.
I'll be back. Then you'll all pay.
Please don't click off the video yet. Anyhow, a video on the games I played plus some others will come in good time. But for this video, I want to bring special attention to one particular game I found for $2 US, that's before potential discounts mind you, that stood proudly out from the crowd and inspired me to dedicate an entire video to it. That game is McBat 64, Journey of a Nice Chap. Upon starting the game, I didn't expect to be blown away, but despite clearly being a budget project with few resources at its disposal, the game is an absolute joy. It gives off the vibe it aims to give, provides fun and well-designed levels with mechanics to... That was the first take that wasn't gold. It gives off the vibes it aims to give, provides fun and well-designed levels and mechanics to play with, is populated with delightfully cheeky characters, abound with references, especially to the games it's inspired by, and controls just about as well as you'd want. The game's length is very short. My first playthrough only took a little less than an hour, and I was goofing off and taking my time too. But for $2, I feel like I got way more value than I paid for. You mean to say that you got more value than that for which you paid? Never end sentences with a preposition. A preposition's a terrible kind of word to end your sentence with. What? Sure, I could break down every level, task, detail, interaction, and post-game content this game has to offer, but I won't spoil all the delightful surprises. Even the brokest of player can afford this one. Plus, it's on Steam, too. Instead, I will draw a comparison, which is the reason you probably clicked on this video in the first place, between the control and design of McBat 64 and the mechanics of the Kirby franchise, which will explain why I think this $2 eShop title holds the key to a 3D Kirby game. To start things off, we must first address the question, why would/should we want a 3D Kirby game in the first place? Kirby as a franchise has been going strong for close to 30 years. In that time, though a few interesting spin-offs have been made, all mainline entries have been 2D side-scrollers whose campaigns contain little or no challenge or difficulty at all. During the time of the N64, when most 2D platforming series made the jump to 3D, Kirby retained its 2D gameplay and never looked back. There was a grid-based isometric spin-off years later on the 3DS, but that's not a mainline title. As many fans have pointed out, especially after the mixed reception to Kirby's latest outing on the Switch, a 3D take on the franchise could be just the sort of kick in the pants the series needs to raise itself out of stagnation. Now I shall pose a follow-up question. What does McBat 64 do that Kirby should copy? Copy? Anyone? No? Okay. Well, for starters, McBat controls fantastically. He's small, he's nimble, he's adorable, and most importantly, he can fly!
He can fly!
I've heard it suggested before that Kirby wouldn't translate to 3D platforming all too well due to his iconic infinite flying ability. Well, to that I say, look at McBat. He controls just fine, and the worlds are designed competently around the flying too. At no point does the ability feel broken or game-wrecking. So far as I could tell, it can't get you anywhere the developers didn't intend you to go. Not only that, but the levels themselves are also very brief. Some might say it's to the game's detriment, but I applaud the dev team for not letting the game overstay its welcome and repeat ideas too many times. With their limited resources, it's understandable that levels would be short and to the point. While I do think that if HAL were to implement this gameplay style and level design into a potential 3D Kirby game, it'd have way more ideas, concepts, and game length to adequately explore them, I do think it's also worth recognizing that the brevity and lack of difficulty or challenge in McBat's levels make it a good fit for young and beginning players alike. Very appropriate for, Kirby, wouldn't you say? And similarly to Kirby, the game's charm and personality should make up for the lack of challenge to more seasoned gamers such as myself. This 3D collectathon style, that relies less on platforming and more on light puzzles and exploration, is brimming with potential. And should the professionals at HAL Laboratories design a Kirby game like it, that implement tight levels and bosses that adhere to copy abilities to boot, we can have a memorable, top-quality experience unlike any we've ever had before. Aside from McBat, of course. Which reviewers would uncover long after the fact, contrarians and haters would accuse Nintendo of ripping off wholesale, and hipsters would say they prefer. Well, that's all I have to say on the matter. This script is about 3 pages long, and the video's length will almost certainly reflect that. But I suppose that's just in the McBat 64 spirit. Be sure to check the game out either on the Nintendo Switch eShop or Steam. Again, $2. I'm sure you can take the loss on there. I think this game and the talented devs behind it deserve your support. You know who else I think deserves your support? Me, I think I do. So like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying what you're seeing. Leave a comment below if you want to join in on the conversation, and share this video or my channel around wherever you might think they'd be appreciated. If you feel so inclined anyway. Speaking of support and appreciation,
It's time for...
if you'd like to receive benefits that range from getting a credit at the end of my videos to being immortalized in your very own Talking Sock Sona, then pledge to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or as much as 10, which still isn't that much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time I see ya. Mwah. That was me blowing a kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses for all. I'm going crazy.